Oh, you opened this video. That's surprising. Now, why did I think you would not open this video? That's because most people say they want something, but they don't do anything towards getting it. Some people buy courses, but then they don't go through them. Some people buy other kind of education, but they don't use that for anything. Some people click on YouTube videos and then they end up doing nothing. But you at least clicked on this video. You can be proud of yourself. You did something that most people do not do. So you are above the average. Congrats. Today we are gonna be talking about success, and I'm gonna be running you through 4 things that I believe you need and can use in order to get the success that you want. So let's go ahead and start. First step, do the opposite of what most people do. Now, what on earth do I mean by this? Most people are average people. An average person is poor, has less than 1k at their bank account, overweight, not disciplined, not consistent, having relationship problems, sad and hate themselves, to an extent at least, and so on. Now, nobody wants to be an average person. No matter what anybody tells me, that is not the case. Everyone wants to be above the average. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone desires more. That's how we humans have survived. We want to gather more and improve. If one doesn't improve and change, one gets depressed. Now, you might be around an average person who's watching this video right now, but you are still above the average a little bit because you are actually watching the video. Most average people and below the average people, they are not watching this video. So again, you can be proud of yourself. But you can still improve further. But that's what's amazing about being a human. You can always improve, learn new things. And you must do this in order to stay happy, be happy. And the society has set the bar extremely low. You don't need to do that much to be above the average person. Most people don't go to the gym. Most people stay in relationships that they are not happy in. Most people are not consistent in social media or any part of their life. Change is painful. It always is, always has been, but it's one of the only things, along with death and taxes, that is guaranteed in life. The question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to be the average person? Do I want to be depressed, divorced, overweight? All of us don't start from the same place with the same opportunities, but over time we can get the same opportunities and reach the exact same results through hard work. But we must be courageous and be willing to fail. We must do things that most people aren't willing to do and keep going even when we make mistakes. That's another thing that's guaranteed in life, so just embrace it. The simple rule to guide all of your daily actions is this: do the opposite of what most people do. Observe what you're doing or what you have got done today and think, is this something the average person would do? If yes, change it. Don't necessarily feel bad about it. Just don't feel proud of being average. It is badass to acknowledge you could have done better. Most people fail to take accountability over their own actions. Then you can see how you can improve. If you simply end up doing the opposite of what the average person does, you will end up being better than the average person. Do the things the average person does, you end up average. Do the things the opposite way of the average person, you end up the opposite of average. Simple, but not common sense. Just like Tony Robbins put it. Common sense is not too common. Before we get to the next step, I want to be clear that I'm not a perfect person, nobody is, I'm a human, and there are some areas of my life where I still lack short of doing the opposite of what the average person does. And I feel proud, I'm acknowledging this, I'm not pretending that I'm indeed perfect, that I'm doing everything correct. I know and I see where to improve, and I'm working hard towards doing that. And even acknowledging that there is a gap, that I am not perfect, is something that most people fail to do. Most people do not want to face the truth. They are like ostriches, and they bury their heads into sand. So accountability is the key to change anything in your life, and I believe it is absolutely necessary to have personal accountability to get successful in any area of your life. Now let's go to the second step of what's crucial to get success. 2. Consistency. I'm 100% certain that you have heard this advice before, that you must be consistent in order to succeed. But are you consistent? Most people are not, and you might be one of these people. Again, you can change this. No harsh feelings. Being consistent for 1 to 2 weeks isn't the most difficult thing ever, although many still find that very hard, depending of course on the task. But being consistent for 1 to 20 years is difficult. But again, the only way to become more successful than most people is to be willing to do something most people aren't willing to do. Mark Manson. Being consistent doesn't need to be difficult. Exactly. All it takes is a good system and discipline. That's it. If you do not have a good system around doing things, then everything will become much harder. So let's take an example. You might have heard recently that I have started to do these YouTube videos every week consistently, that I'm planning on doing Instagram content consistently. I have started a podcast, which is basically this YouTube video but just as a podcast consistently, and I'm writing newsletters every week consistently, and I'm being consistent on Twitter or X, and that I'm gonna be keeping to prioritize my growth consistently, and the list goes on. There might be still something else, but anyways, how on earth do I achieve all of this, keeping in mind I only work 4 to 5 hours a day? And why do I only work that amount? Make sure to watch the video after this video. You can find it from the corner of the video or then from the description. But anyways, how do I do all of this? So I have a system, and this is my secret system. I'm gonna give you a fast sneak peek, so stay tuned. So my secret system is that I make a newsletter, okay? I write this out every week. That's the main piece of my content. Then what I do on some other day is that I record that newsletter. So right now I'm basically speaking the newsletter out loud with some other inputs as well, whatever comes to my mind, right? And then I break down the newsletter into singular tweets that I post on X, right? And then I will make reels and possibly like some other photo posts on Instagram based from the content I have written to the newsletter. And then the same video that you're watching right now, I have put to Spotify and other podcast platforms that people can consume it also that way. And this is a system that basically what I need to do is to write one newsletter per week, and then I just repurpose the content. I don't need to do different content to all of the platforms, because as somebody who doesn't have any employees and still is trying to handle many things, this wouldn't be possible without a great system. Putting a system together always takes time, and I'm still mastering this. When you're watching this, I might have not started to post on Instagram yet, but that's in the works right now. But I'm doing the newsletter consistently. I'm doing these YouTube videos consistently. I'm putting these to podcasts constantly. So this is always work in progress. You're always improving, you're always learning, you're always making the system more efficient for your own needs. And over time you will just get faster and faster at making the content or whatever it is that you want to be consistent at. Right now, this YouTube video is gonna be taking me like 4 times less time than the first video that I made. Just basically because I've been improving on talking to a camera and using my newsletter as a script. And as we go forward in the future, like 10 videos from now, it's gonna be even easier and even faster, and the editing process is gonna be even easier and even faster. This all develops. But anyways, it always takes time to learn a new system, but once you have done that, it becomes second nature to you, and it's much easier to stay consistent. Because again, I would not be staying consistent if I had to do everything like separately. If I didn't have the system, no way would I be consistent. Seriously. So this system is my own hypothesis. How can I get successful as an artist? And that's what we're gonna talk about next, that there's actually many ways you can get the same result. So let's get into that. 3. Stick it to a plan. There are millions of different kind of plans for how to get fit, how to raise a perfect child, how to get a dream partner, whatever. There are a million ways of doing that. There might be like one thing that works for another person, and then there might be a thing that doesn't work for you. Many people, including me at times, are looking for a magical thing that is gonna be this key to success. We want that it's brilliant, sexy, and like shiny thing, that it's gonna change the way we see the world and give us this power up. But that's just not how it works. There isn't really a magical formula or a thing for success. You just basically have a plan, and then you go ahead and you execute according to the plan, and then you see does the plan work or does it not work? And then if it doesn't work, then you change the plan until it works. That's kind of the success formula for you. But yes, what most people do is that they are looking for that one correct plan. But there are many plans that work. And why many people fail to get success, in my opinion, is because they don't stick to a plan. There are a million things that you could do. For example, right now I could be doing videos to TikTok, but I have decided to not do that because that doesn't fit to my content creation plan and the future I want to have for myself. But there is a lot of people who recommend you should do TikTok videos, you should do this, you should do that. There are these kind of opportunities in this space and in that other space. But if you try to select everything, you won't get good at anything, right? You need to focus something. And like Steve Jobs, I think, said it, is that when you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. And that focus is not about saying yes to things, it's rather about saying no to things. Make sure to set a plan for yourself and see does it work or not. And you will only find this out by actually trying out the plan, executing according to that plan. Do not switch it up all the time. Just see what works, and if it doesn't work, then change it up. Okay? So to recap this point, make a plan or a hypothesis, then execute, then observe results, and lastly, change your plan or hypothesis according to the results you get. It's simple, but not easy. But that's something you need to do if you want to be better than the average person. Now let's go to the last thing in this issue that I personally find to be extremely important, but it's also unpopular. 4. Holistic approach. So what does this actually mean? This means you should go against the popular advice of just mastering one thing in your life. So for example, I'm a photographer. Well, nowadays I'm more than a photographer. But 20 people have recommended me as a photographer is to just stick to photography, just take photos, just focus on that, and everything else will come to you, and that's the only thing you need to master. But that's not true. Whatever like you are doing, if you're an accountant, if you are a CEO, if you are a photographer, yeah, like whatever you do, you must learn more than one thing, and this is why. So let's take photography as an example again, shall we? So now you are a photographer and you are the best at it in the whole world. What do I mean by the best? You take the most beautiful photos, so they have the best compositions, they have the best colors, they have things most people do not have in their photos, whatever that is. But somehow nobody knows your name. How can that be if you are taking the best photos in the entire world? That might be that you don't have the skills of sharing that photo in social media, or maybe sending that to a possible client, or pitching yourself to a newspaper to feature you there. See where I'm going? You need to have multiple skills in order to make it. So me, as a photographer and entrepreneur, I need to understand marketing. I need to understand how do I keep you watching this video right here, because we have small attention spans. I have had to study this. I have had to study the human brain, psychology, copywriting, and marketing, filmmaking as well, making these videos, recording audio for this kind of videos, editing the videos, sharing on social media, how to get engagement and how to not get shadow banned and everything, right? So it takes multiple kind of skills. And when you have multiple kind of skills, that's how you're unique. That's how you stand out from the crowd. Guess how many professional photographers there are in the world? 74.6 million. Now, if you can click the camera, you won't get recognized. Like I just told you this example. But if you have a unique set of skills that other people don't have, you're immediately unique and you can do things most people do not do. As an example, if you live in Germany, or you just happen to be visiting Germany, and you travel to a place where locals don't speak English that well. In Germany, Germans speak around 56% of Germans speak English, right? And then there are areas where people do not speak English that much. So you're trying to find unique places that maybe have not been photographed before or photographed well before. And the only way to get to these places is to ask locals. If you know how to speak German, you'll have possible resources that like only English speakers don't have, right? And maybe you have amazing people skills, right? And then you can communicate what you want in a way that they actually want to help you out. So you need multiple kind of skills in order to stand out. Now, for example, taking me into account, now I did say all the things I've been learning, but I'm unique because of what I have learned and what I'm sharing to the world. I don't have competition in social media because I'm somebody who got bullied my entire childhood. I'm somebody who has risen from all of that. I'm somebody 20 years old and I have my own company and I'm pursuing this full time. And there's many other things that make me stand out. So you need these multiple different kind of skills in order to be unique, to stand out. Do not only master one thing, become great at many things. Sure, you can't get amazing at everything. That's sad truth, we have finite time on this earth. But when you have these different kind of skills, you can use these ingredients to make something amazing and unique that nobody else has been able to do. And that's how I believe you get successful, is combining things, because then you will be a unique human being. Life is like a skill tree that you can't, again, master just one thing, because you need to learn other things in order to unlock the ability to achieve something greater. So if you have played video games, you might understand this concept without me explaining it, but if you haven't, here's the explanation. So you start at level 1, and in order to upgrade your character, you must play the game in order to gain experience and skill points that you can upgrade your character to the next level. Let's say you want to improve the health of your character, so you spend your experience and skill points to upgrading the health. Now maybe you want to upgrade the health even more, but that's not yet possible to do for your character. Before that, you might need to learn something else. Maybe before that you need to be upgrading your character's fighting abilities, or maybe jumping abilities, and only then, after you have mastered those skills, you unlock the ability to improve your health further. See what I mean? Everything connects in life, and you can't just go one path. You must learn many different things, because everything eventually will connect together. So taking this to the real world, in order to unlock the potential and the skills that you want, you need to learn other things that maybe you don't want to learn, because those things are going to matter a lot, and they might be the only path in order to learn that thing, that skill that you want to learn. So make sure to expand your horizons, step out of your comfort zone, don't hide there, and discover new things. That's how you also find out new skills that you didn't even know that could help you on this journey. If you stay in your own zone all the time, you will not realize how much you have missed out on, how much new things that there is that could actually help you out. Let's take one example here. So you might know that I made a meme card, which is a big thing in the NFT space. If you don't know anything about that, you don't need to know about that, but it's a big thing, and many people have asked me like, how have I actually made that? How is it possible that you made that? But it wasn't an easy process. It involved failure and consistency and many different kind of skills, from persuasion, being able to pitch my ideas, present my ideas in a way that the other people can understand them. So let's go through that process, how it looked like for me. So in the beginning of this year, 2023, I set out a goal that I want to be able to make this meme card, because I saw it as a thing that is going to be changing my life, which it did. So I told myself, I made a plan, to which I did stick to, that I will submit a new idea for a meme card every week until I get in. I did that for 5 weeks, and then I got invited. Most people who want to make a meme card, they do not end up submitting at all, because they don't think they can get in. They are afraid of, what if I don't hear back? What if I made all of this effort into brainstorming an idea, but nobody got back to me? I took that risk 5 times, but I would have been willing to do that much more. And like on the day that I got invited, I also submitted a new idea like that morning, but I stayed consistent, and then I heard from them. That's what most people are not willing to do, staying consistent. even though there's a chance that your efforts will be wasted. But when I got invited to do the meme card, it wasn't just over. This took 7 months, 6 months, 6 months that it came out, and we had multiple different ideas. First, we had this idea that I was like doing like winter summer thing. Then I went out to take winter photos. I didn't get the shot. We had a backup plan in case I don't get it, then I'm gonna do something to do with summer. So I thought like, okay, it's not the biggest deal in the world, I just do the summer thing. Then I went out to take this summer photo, and I thought that okay, this should be kind of easy to take, I have 6 days. But then I had all of these obstacles. It was snowing in June, which was crazy, and we only had like one night when we got the light that I needed for the shot. Then I was like, yes, now I got it, and I was so happy. I couldn't tell anybody about that I nailed a photo for meme card, but I did celebrate it on X, like yes, I got the shot. But then I presented that to the team. It was too similar to another meme card, and I was emotionally crushed because I had spent nearly my last money for that. I didn't have money to make another week's travel to the north. I would have not been able to afford it. But then what I did do is that I had not minted one piece because I wanted that to be my backup. In case this photo didn't work, then I could maybe suggest that this piece could be my meme card. And that's what ended up happening. So we went over 3 cards, and a failure after failure after failure, and the last one took still many revisions, and then it came out. And then I got massively rewarded in an exposure wise. A ton of people have seen that piece and know me for that piece, and also financially, that like now I get to travel and do the things that I would have not been able to do otherwise. And this was possible because I didn't give up. It was emotionally incredibly difficult at times. I had a ton of pressure, especially when I was like going to these networking events around the world. I was telling people there is gonna be a big project coming out in the summer, and then if I would have fucked up, then I would have had nothing to show. So, but I made that pressure on purpose, that I would push myself just to do this even more and more. Rewards do not come easy. You must step out of your comfort zone, push yourself to new levels, and make that your new standard. This issue has now provided many things that most people do not agree with, but I hope you see what I mean and how I feel they are really important for one to get successful. To recap, do the opposite of the average person, being consistent, stick to a plan, and have a holistic approach. Thank you for watching this video or listening to this as a podcast, and for you expanding your horizons through this content. So this is also indeed available as a podcast, so if you rather listen to these videos, make sure to check the links in the description and find and follow me on your favorite podcast platform. Also, most of you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe if you like this kind of content, because I'm planning on being consistent and there's gonna be a new video every single week. So now make sure to watch this video next or other videos on the channel to be expanding your mindset and your knowledge base even more, that you can achieve better results and be happier. Till next Saturday,